Hey, what is going on, everyone? Well, I'm so glad you took your time to spend with me right here today. I am your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike McRock Wilson, and last night was WWE Raw, and all I gotta say was last night, yes! Daniel Bryan, oh man, he just took over the show last night, and not only that, he was working double duty. First he was in a six-man tag team match. It was The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose versus Team Hell No and Randy Orton. And even though they lost, again, Daniel Bryan, a few segments later, in a match with Ryback, two outstanding wrestling matches Daniel Bryan took part in, doing double duty, and just took over the show with more segments behind stage and everything right now about Daniel Bryan. The way they're pushing Daniel Bryan is absolutely amazing. Keep it going. He was on fire during his two matches last night. And even though, he got, through a table and won by disqualification against Ryback, John Cena came out and saved the day. And the only thing that is really looking good right now is the war between John Cena and Ryback, because it's going on way too long. Well, even though it's not really going on way too long, it feels like it's going on way too long. And hopefully the three stages of hell, which I think is completely not necessary, just have the ambulance match. And with that being said, just end it at Payback, please. Don't let it continue until SummerSlam. Just let it end at Payback. And have CM Punk come back and just destroy the hell out of John Cena and become the new champ at SummerSlam. That's the stuff I like to see. And the way they're pushing Daniel Bryan, I gotta say this. If Daniel Bryan is not even in WrestleMania or even at the main card for WrestleMania 30, I am going to riot. You heard me. Also last night, this whole thing now with Triple H is going to a place I don't know where. However, I do like that Stephanie McMahon came out and addressed the situation with Triple H, and so did Vince McMahon. Absolutely, the only thing I like about it is the theme that's happening. And if you notice, there is a pattern, with Dolph Ziggler having a concussion and Cena waving the ambulance off, and now Triple H refusing doctor's orders, and Stephanie and Vince not allowing Triple H to compete, and something stopped him. Whatever was on that sheet of paper that Vince handed to him, something must have stopped him, because he just stormed right out of the arena. And however, even though I like what's happening, I know there is a theme going on about wrestlers that really shouldn't be competing while they're hurt, while they're having a concussion, etc., etc. That I don't mind. It's just there's just no need. It's like a waste of Raw's time, because Raw wants to see action. And I think segments like these really keep Raw really uninterested. I hope this drops soon. Because, just let it play out the way it should be played out, and then just let this end. Also last night, the Usos defeated the Primetime Players in tag team action. I like what's happening now. They're giving the Usos a push now in the WWE, and even a proper entrance as well. Primetime Players got the jobber entrance, and the Usos got the proper entrance, and I like that now the Usos got this face paint on their face, and they got the win over the Primetime Players. And right now it seems like that the Usos, Jimmy J. Uso, are going to be like the next team in line for the tag team titles. I really don't mind if the Usos actually defeat the Shield, because right now it's about time a legitimate team gets a push in the WWE right now. Also last night, Alberto Del Rio defeated Big E Langston. Now, here's the thing that just came into my mind recently, is that maybe this is not the end of Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston. Maybe when Dolph Ziggler comes back, he's going to push AJ Lee to the curb. Because you see, usually AJ is the one that, costs people the match. Or even kicks, the guys to the curb. Maybe this will be something new and fresh when Dolph Ziggler comes back. He's still the world champ. Del Rio's the number one contender. Maybe, when it's all said and done with this whole thing between Big E Langston and AJ Lee, and Ziggler sees what's happening, he might end up turning on AJ, not necessarily making him a good guy, but making him more of an idiot, and have AJ Lee turn into a babyface diva. And even though that's a little weird, the way I'm thinking about it, I think that may happen. And sometimes in WWE it does a lot of weird things, and I think that'll be one of them. Let's continue on with this review. Also last night, the Great Khali went one-on-one with Fandango. Really went to a no contest because The Miz came out and distracted Fandango, only to have Wade Barrett attack The Miz from behind with the elbow. And it sets up the whole triple threat match thing for the Intercontinental Championship. Absolutely looking forward. This is only one of the very few things I'm really looking forward to this upcoming pay-per-view called Payback. And it's this triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And I think, when it all comes down to it, Fandango, I think, will be the next Intercontinental Champ, defeating The Miz and Wade Barrett in this foreshadowing triple threat match. Also last night, The Miz, speaking of The Miz, he defeated Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett last night, only to have Fandango come out and cost Wade Barrett the match. Everything right now, the way this is going with Raw last night, and again, another episode where it had great flow. So I like how, the show last night, it was able to go from one segment to another, without any breaks in between. So that's a perfect example of how this great flow was on Monday Night Raw. Also last night, Chris Jericho and Paul Heyman signed a contract for WWE Payback. It's going to be Chris Jericho going one-on-one with CM Punk. I really don't know yet. Because even though the event is in Chicago, Illinois, of course CM Punk will be there. I don't know if he will be competing against Chris Jericho. I think this will be the night that CM Punk does a little something off that you won't expect him to do. So I think because CM Punk is so unpredictable, I think he'll do something that is just going to surprise everyone. Also last night, it was the Divas champion, Kaitlyn, and the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi, defeating AJ Lee and the Bella Twins. The only thing that came out of that was that AJ Lee is the number one contender for Kaitlyn's championship. When this match will happen, we don't know yet. Maybe Payback. But I like that the Funkadactyls are starting to get more into the wrestling aspect of their WWE career right now, because this is the way it should go. And I see a lot of potential going on with Naomi, because I feel some sort of excellent wrestling ability from her. I think she's a great athlete. Hopefully the Divas division really should get a reboot. And it should revolve around the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi, the Bella Twins. Even if there were like Divas Tag Team Champs, I wouldn't mind revolving around those two. But there still need to have more teams. But I think that the Divas division should revolve around the Funkadactyls, the Bella Twins, AJ Lee. I don't know about Kaitlyn. But I think right now AJ Lee, even though she's the number one contender, it feels like she's the Divas champion. And the main event last night was Curtis Axel defeating WWE champion John Cena via countout. Really? I'm going to pull a Miz here and say, really? I mean, come on. Again, another situation where it really don't help Curtis Axel. He's right in the middle between this whole Ryback and John Cena thing, which is ridiculous in itself. And another thing that's ridiculous is putting in Curtis Axel, into these situations where he just don't benefit from. I mean, on SmackDown, he's faced Sam Carr a couple of times. It's absolutely brilliant. I know I mentioned this before, and I'll keep mentioning this until it registers, WWE. Come on! But anyway, the way Curtis Axel is on Raw, putting him in these situations is really uncalled for. It really don't help him. And I hope that WWE realizes the mistakes they're making with Curtis Axel. I like the alliance with him and Paul Heyman, but I also think that Curtis Axel is trying too hard to be a villain. He just tried too hard for him to get the heat and hate from everyone in the audience, because really, Paul Heyman's the guy that gets all the heat and all the hate from the audience. And Curtis Axel just needs to have his own stitch and not rely on Paul Heyman doing his promos. When Curtis Axel cuts his promos, he should rely on himself and not Paul Heyman. And that was my review of last night's Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike McRock Wilson. And to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.